Hey everybody, welcome to Trade Capital's exclusive analysis. In today's video, we're assessing the Nasdaq, the semiconductors, Bitcoin, and the overall natural gas market. So lots to discuss here. This is a free video for our YouTube subscribers, so thank you for tuning in. Again, I do run a day trading and swing trading service where you can locate that at tradingcapital.ca. Jumping to the daily chart of the Qs, it was an overall positive day for the Nasdaq QQQ market, closing up 0.25%. First things first, right as we head into FOMC, the long-awaited Powell, Jay Powell will be speaking tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. We also get the interest rate decision at 2 p.m. So there's going to be two bouts of volatilities, two crazy swings up and down all the way around are likely going to happen, one at 2 and one at 2:30 when he has his press conference. So day traders, be ready to try to capture that volatility. Ultimately, looking at the Qs, you can see you're stuck at this little bit of a wedge pattern. This is an inflection point. You get above there, Qs could likely push and test the double top and make a new high. But if you get rejected here, gap fill is looking likely. So it's a big toss-up at the moment. Technically speaking, you are at resistance, so you want to respect that area at this point in time. Now, what was interesting is the Nasdaq QQQ actually finished up positive today, but you had the SOXX, the semiconductors, close negative on the session, closing down 0.84%. So there's a whole host of selling across SMCI, across AMD, across Intel. You know, the only standout horse that was strong was NVIDIA because it had that little bit of a keynote by Jensen Huang, and it saw a bullish reversal going down 3% to closing up 1%. But still, across the board, semiconductors were weak. Our members actually closed our SOXS position, say, for a lovely 19.8%. Our members were able to bank on that trade. We sold at 382 our SOXS position. And simply speaking, we closed it because look at this upsloping trend line that you're hitting on the SOXX. Pivot to pivot to pivot, and look, you pierced it until you got rallied and bought right back up. So semis have gone through a little bit of a corrective phase here, still very, very strong in an uptrend, still putting in higher lows, still holding above the 50, the 200, the 100. So still holding massive strength and massive gains on the years. But could there be a scenario where semis go lower? We'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, it's going to be tough if NVIDIA continues to consolidate and try to push higher here. So NVIDIA is the key semiconductor holding a whopping weighting across the SMH and the SOXX. So it is the heaviest weighted stock at the moment. But again, when you start seeing all of other semiconductors break down, look at the AMD hitting the 50 daily moving average today, you better be paying close attention to some of these leading sectors for more capital distribution and rotation. At this point in time, semiconductors are hitting its first little test of support. So we got to see if it holds and what type of pattern develops off of this level. Today, our members were also able to bank on MicroStrategy. We closed shorts on MicroStrategy. We also closed shorts on Coinbase. We also closed shorts on Bitcoin. Bitcoin got absolutely demolished on the back of Bank of Japan raising rates. We also were able to trade MicroStrategy on the long side. That was one of my top watches to go long today. So we absolutely crushed MSTR both on the long and the short side today, and that was issued via our direct live trading alerts in our little bit of a community Telegram service. So MSTR saw a massive gap down again, but look at that epic reversal. Now, what's in store for Bitcoin, right? It really comes down to what Powell is going to say. If you look on the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin price action is not shaping up to be all that bullish. You have a left shoulder, you have a head, and you now have a right shoulder. If you were to draw your neckline off of this little bit of a topping formation, you can clearly see you broke the neckline, retraced perfectly to the neckline. We actually shorted again MSTR when Bitcoin hit that and made a nice little profit. But look at this head and shoulders on Bitcoin. Now, obviously, if Powell comes out dovish tomorrow, Bitcoin's going to rally. If Powell comes out hawkish, it could push Bitcoin down to a downside target of roughly 55K. So keep that 55K level on watch because it is certainly something that has triggered on the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. At this point in time, crypto is still in a very strong uptrend, so dips will be likely bought, but nasty little breakdown here on volume today on the Bitcoin chart, and we have to really see if more downside wants to present itself. So lots on watch. All right, let's move along to the natural gas market. So I do have some good news for the natural gas bulls. As of now, you are trying to retest this 186 level. It was a nice solid update for nat gas. Again, one of my alerts in the pre-market was to short KOLD today. That was one of our pre-market plans with members. Had you done that, you would have banked nicely on the natural gas trade. But looking at the natural gas commodity itself, we clear this 186 on a daily close, and then I do think the potential higher low bottom is in, and we can start squeezing to 225. Remember, we took profits with members all the way up above $2 on our UNG. Took a nice chunk of profit off and put a stop loss on our UNG trade. And we've been waiting to get in ever since. But since we've been trading under 186, it's been a no touch for me because you're in no man's land. Short term, as long as you stay under 186, I have to lean bearish. But if we get a daily close above 186, then you flip bullish. So I've had some speculation. So I've had some comments around people saying, oh, you're basically playing both sides of the trade. Well, that's what we have to do as traders, you know. When you get above a key level, you can flip bullish. There's nothing wrong with changing your perspective and your overall targets based off of new candles. You know, every single candle we get is a new piece of the puzzle, and we're allowed to change opinions. You don't have to be married to one side of the trade. So again, above 186, I lean bullish. Below 186, I lean bearish. Right now, we're just at that level, so I'm neutral. I really don't know. It's kind of going to be a 50-50 at this point in time. Obviously, if this level gets rejected again, then you watch for the head and shoulders pattern that potentially could play out on the daily chart, which would take you to new lows. But when you factor in that all commodities are breaking out from the DBC basket here, look at this nice bracing formation, broke above it, and confirmed on the daily chart. Next stop, 200 moving average, unless Powell comes out extremely hawkish and spikes the dollar back above 104 into this next little resistance. So a lot of moving parts in this market. Definitely stay tuned for the FOMC press conference. If you look at the 2-year yield, which kind of tracks what the Fed fund rate does, Fed fund is at 5.5, 2-year yield's at 4.6. Potential inverse head and shoulders forming on the 2-year yield. You got rejected at the neckline, which just so happened to be the daily 200. But keep in mind, this rejection off the daily 200 already happened here. So as long as we pull back and form a higher low, US 2-year yield does look poised to continue higher. And that's not what's on most people's playbooks. And again, look at the Fed Watch tool, the CME interest rate tool, and see how over the last 3 months since the start of the year, look at how the interest rate projections have changed. Look at how market participants at the start of January were pricing in interest rate cuts to where they are now. That's going to give you a big piece of the puzzle to really decide whether or not the market is undervalued, overvalued, or at fair value. Please give this video a like down below if you found it interesting and helpful, and I wish everyone all the best of luck in tomorrow's trading session. FOMC 2 p.m. interest rate decision, likely going to hold interest rates steady. Never know, a surprise could come, but likely going to hold interest rates steady. There's about a 1% chance of a cut, but that has significantly been priced out of the market. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the charts a little bit later.